What up, everybody? Welcome back to Let's Talk Podcast with your boy Dustin Calloway. Yes, I'm back. I'm back. Man, it's been a while. It's been about, I want to say 2 weeks. For the last couple weeks, I haven't put up an episode, right? So let's get into that. Let's talk about where I've been. So for those of you that know me, that have been following, that I drop an episode. At first, I used to drop episodes, I want to say like Sundays, and then I started dropping them on Mondays and stuff like that. Then I brought on Brandon and stuff like that. And, one thing led to another. Boom, boom, boom. I explained that in the past few episodes. So today, I'm coming back to let you guys know where I've been and, let you know, where I'm going. So this episode is not going to be just about that, right? So I do have a topic. I do have stuff that I want to talk about today. But mainly today, let me just break down where I've been. So sometimes, man, when you, everybody know this, you live in this life, man, and you going through the day-to-day grind, you have things that you get into every single day. We all have a process that we follow every single day when we talk about, oh, my bad, sorry about that. When we talk about the day-to-day struggle, right? The day-to-day hustle, the 9 to 5, the trying to make ends meet hustle, the same hustle that everybody going through in life. So you get to these points in life, right, where you kind of look around after a while and you end up needing a break from everything, right? Because you start to realize that stuff in your life ain't lining up the way that you want it to line up, right? And sometimes it takes looking at yourself, right? Looking at yourself and reevaluating yourself to see what you doing wrong, right? Like, what am I doing wrong, right? To cause me all these issues in life where it's like you feel like you need a break from everything. It's like, damn, man, I just need a break, man. Life is just so tough, man. I need a break. So, that's pretty much what happened, right? I needed a break from life. And the reason why I needed a break from life is because I had to start working on myself. And it's like everything came crashing down at the same time. And it's not to say that I have like a specific story to say, oh, well, this happened, that happened. No, it's not that. It's just, let me give y'all a little bit of myself, right? So I have this thing where I explained this before on an episode. I believe I took it down about the whole family thing, right? Where we talk about family. Sometimes you can hate your family. Remember that episode, right? So I think that's probably episode number 1, I think, or something like that. But that's back way in the beginning. And a lot of things have changed ever since that episode, right? I went from being this dude that always had the stories about everything that I didn't like about certain people or certain things in my life, and all I did was talked about the stuff all the time, just talking, where just weighing everything down on the world, you know what I'm saying, instead of really putting action behind everything that I was talking about, right? And I'm just talking about as far as like, I won't even say action, right? I'm talking about just going through a process of really healing from everything that I feel like bothered me or just like hurt me a little bit in life. So basically that's the mission that I've been on. I've been really working on myself because I got this issue with myself where instead of handling my problems, right? Like, if I'm not feeling somebody, right? Or if somebody did something to make me feel some kind of way, instead of handling that problem, I would literally it's easier to just cut you off, right? And not talk to you, even though I know I'm still feeling some kind of way about whatever I feel you did to me. I just cut you off and don't talk to you no more. So I've been going through this thing where for the past, I want to say like 3 weeks now, where I'm trying to confront that side of me and actually hit this stuff head on, right? Versus we're going through the same process over and over, because I think that's what a lot of us do. We get into this set way of how we deal with our problems in life. And we just kind of carry that, just carry it throughout our whole life and just keep it the same way. We keep repeating it. And then you eventually end up being an old person, kind of alone, or you might just turn into a younger person, whatever, with just a lot of depression, right? And just because you're not handling things in your life right. And this is not me saying that the way that I handle my problems were 100% wrong. Nah, it wasn't 100% wrong, because Let's Talk Podcast is going to be here, baby. It's going to be here. And I'm going to always talk about my stuff that goes on in my life. But the other part is now I'm putting action behind it, right? So, like I know I talked about earlier, if you go back to episode 1 and you saw how I talked about my family and stuff like that, right? Now I'm going through a part where instead of cutting them off, now we facing stuff head on, right? So I met up with some people in my family and we talked it out. And I got stuff off my chest that I wanted to get off, versus saying, I'm going to just cut y'all off and not talk to y'all no more. No, let's hit it head on. Right? And let me tell you exactly how I feel, instead of thinking about it and just storing it in here and then talking about it on camera all the time. But don't get me wrong, I'm going to still talk about stuff. But now the action is, I got to let those people know eye to eye. This is how I feel, eye to eye, right? So that's what I've been working on, right? I've been working on myself, right? And then another thing about myself that I noticed, and it was brought to my attention, and I was in denial about it for years. Poor communication skills, definitely poor communication skills. And it's not, so on one hand, it's like, this is how the bomb is created, right? So somebody will say something to me, right, a certain way, or they'll do something to me, and it'll be like, it's cool, do what you do. And I'll just brush it off, because I know that once whatever you did, if it make me mad enough, I'm just not going to deal with you no more. I'm gone. Stuff it, right, and move on. Instead of saying how I really feel, right? So it don't matter whether it's a friend or if I'm in a relationship, is with my girl. It don't matter who it is. I always had this way of doing things where it was like, you know what? I'm not even going to say anything, just because let's just go ahead and avoid the argument, man. Because it's just like, I felt like in my mind, that was the easiest thing to do, because I know if I just cut you off, I ain't got to deal with you no more. You're going to be mad. Nah, really, that wasn't helping nobody for real. Yeah, it was helping me a little bit because it was getting me away from those people. But really, it was creating bad blood, because it wasn't like I was telling them exactly how I felt. And for real, a lot of those relationships probably could have been fixed by communicating exactly how I felt when I felt it, right? Versus saying, let me stuff it. Then we get to this point where now I'm mad enough to the point where now it's going to come out, but everything is going to come out, right? Everything that I've been feeling is going to come out, and I'm going to destroy your ass with it, because you pissed me off too many times. You know what I'm saying? So that's where my poor communication skills come in. Not dealing with it on the spot, not telling the person right there on the spot, this is exactly how you made me feel, or just saying, calling bullshit on something that you ain't feeling, right? If you ain't feeling it, call bullshit on it right there on the spot, versus stuffing it. And that's what I never did. It was just like, I'll just cut you off and I just won't talk to you no more. And I know a lot of people out here in this world that I've had issues with. They probably don't even realize that it was a major issue to me, and it probably was minor to them, and I just cut them off and never told them this is exactly how I felt. So, over these past few weeks, I've been going through for real, fixing this, clearing out this, and fixing and trying to fix those relationships with certain people in my life that I feel, we could have resolved issues with a simple conversation. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I've been working on, and that's pretty much where I've been, man, for the past couple episodes, and like I was saying, and this thing called life, sometimes you need a break from it, because I don't know about the rest of y'all, but when I go through things in life, when stuff is too heavy on me, I like to shut certain things down, right? In life, I'll shut this down. I'll shut the podcast down just to take a break from it, because I don't want to just come on here and give you guys content where it's just, let me give you this episode just to get it out. Nah, if you're going through some stuff, if you have anxiety issues, or if you have problems in your life, you got to deal with it, right? You have to deal with it. And if you don't deal with it and you just keep on trying to put stuff in front of it, you keep building up these walls in front of it, and you keep on building up these walls in front of it, eventually you're going to explode and you're going to break through those walls, because you didn't cover everything that you're dealing with in life with something to just keep you busy. And I love this podcast. But I'll never, ever do that again, to the point where it's like, I'm going to just keep putting out episodes every week or filming just to make sure I have something to put out and give you guys. Nah, I ain't working. Life ain't rolling like that for me no more. You know what I'm saying? So, that's pretty much what I've been working on, man. So I want to send a huge shout out to all the people. You already know who you are. If I reached out to you and I said, let's get together and let's talk, we're going to get together and we're going to talk. And we're not talking about on camera. If you eventually want to be on here, we can do that. But we definitely piecing things up in life, and we getting stuff back on track. And I'm having those conversations with the people that I feel I need to have with. And I'm working on myself, man. I'm working on myself in a major way. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into a little bit of, a few topics that I want to talk about, right? Let's get into a few things that I want to talk about. And I don't know. I can't promise y'all that I'm not going to hold y'all for a while. I'm going to hold you for a little bit today. So I want to get into something that I see a lot of this going on social media. And I just want to reach out to these people. And I want to let these people know that, if you got a issue going on in life, and, you feel trapped sometimes and you feel like don't nobody understand you, just know that I understand you. And what I want to talk about today is I want to talk about depression. And the only reason I really want to talk about it is because I know what depression is. I've been there before, and I see a lot of people every day on social media. They going through it, and it could be people that I don't know, and it could be people that I do know. And the people that I do know that are going through depression right now. One person, in particular, like he sparked something when I saw his post, because I can see him reaching out for help, and because what I saw it wasn't just like the first time I saw him post something about depression. This has been going on for about a couple years now, that I've just seen random posts from this person, like, talking about just being depressed and stuff like that, or going through depression, and, like trying to bring awareness to depression and how it's destroying people. So I wanted to tap on that a little bit, man. Just a little bit. This is only going to be for a few minutes, and then we're going to move on, because I definitely want to do a whole episode on depression. So for those of you out there, man, that know people and your family, friends, it could just be a random person, because we all have these over 4,000 friends that we probably don't even know, 75% of them on Facebook and all these different social media platforms, man. If you know somebody out there, you can just identify that something is going wrong with somebody, and you see them going through depression, and you can just see it. You can see it in a post, because you can kind of pick that stuff apart, man. If you start looking at the post and everything, it seems like it's just super duper sad, or they always got this negative self-talk, and it's just, you can see them going down this hole, right? Reach out to those people, man. Reach out to those people and try to tap in with them, and just see if you can, just talk to them, because it's a lot of people out here hurting right now, and a lot of people just don't know that, like some people don't know what depression is, for real. It's a lot of people out here that don't even know what it is, because they just live these lives where they're never depressed. But on the flip side of it, it's a lot of people out here that are going through it right now. They're depressed, man. And a lot of people don't know how to deal with their problems, man. And that's what I've realized about depression, for real. Just like speaking for myself, right? So let me go into myself a little bit about this whole depression thing, right? So, when you are being raised in an environment where you are not, you're not being taught how to deal with your problems the right way, right? And basically all you see in the environment is you just see somebody, running from theirs. So ultimately, while you watching them run from their problems, what does that turn you into? It turns you into somebody like them, a kid that runs away from their problems. So eventually, all that stuff catches up to you, man, on the flip side, right? If you look at the flip side of everything, man, you pay attention to how you were raised in a household and what you were shown and what you saw growing up, and then you pay attention to, it may not happen to every kid in the family, but if you pay attention to a majority of the kids that are raised up in an environment where things are just toxic and stuff is just crazy going on around them, and you see them being raised by people who don't teach them how to handle problems properly, you'll see that a lot of those people are the people that I'm talking about. They end up being depressed in life because, they never really learn how to deal with their problems, right? So if you know these people and you see them out there every day, man, please reach out to these people. Talk to them, even if they don't respond back, man. It don't hurt to try, because you never know what you could spark in those people. But like I was saying, in my situation with myself, growing up in that environment where you were never taught how to handle your problems properly, right? I literally followed what I saw, and that's how I dealt with everything in life. I'm just not going to deal with you. I ain't got to be around you no more. I'm not going to deal with you. I ain't got to be around you no more. And the crazy part is, I didn't realize it until recently that I kind of showed my kids the same thing, right? Instead of and you know what? That's where I know I messed up at, because when that family stuff happened with me, instead of dealing with it the right way, right? I showed my kids, hey, we just not going to be around them. We just not going to be around them. You know what I'm saying? And then even though my 16-year-old, she ran back around them, that's something totally different. But I basically showed her, you ain't got to deal with somebody if you feel some kind of way about them. Nah, that's not how you deal with it, for real. And we had that conversation recently where I told her, nah, that's not how you properly deal with it. You got to face the problem head on, and you got to let people know how you feel, because eventually you know what that leads to, right? Everything all that doing that I did in my life, handling my problems that way, literally, it kind of led to depression, for real, because that's what it was, but I didn't see it. I just thought that I was doing the right thing. But nah, I wasn't doing the right thing. It led me to depression. So me lashing out on my videos and going crazy and saying this and saying that and saying this and saying that, I'm thinking okay, yeah, I'm letting them have it. No, really, I wasn't doing nothing but making myself more depressed, for real, because I wasn't handling the situation. See, a person don't know how you feel, for real, unless you really tell them. They really don't. Even if it goes bad, they don't know how you feel unless you really tell them. And that's basically what led to my depression. It was my own, I won't say my own doing, because I'm not 100% responsible for it. I'm responsible for my actions, but not knowing, growing up being taught to handle stuff that way, or seeing how the people that raised me handled stuff the same way, I literally did the same thing. So that's what caused me to become who I am now, or who I was. I'm gonna say who I was, because that's not me anymore. But yeah, so that's pretty much what did it. So like I said, man, if you know anybody out there that has depression and you can see it and you see them going through it, man, reach out to them, talk to them. Reach out to them, talk to them, man. We don't want these people, like myself or other people, to do anything to themselves, man. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that I was, because I wasn't, but it's a major struggle. I'm talking about, my depression was so bad that it was I was suffering from anxiety, right? So it was a couple things that was kind of killing me with that. So I had all those issues going on up here that I wasn't really addressing the way that I needed to. But also, not to change the topic, but I try to tell a lot of people this, man. A lot of anxiety, for real, for me, it was caused by the food that I was eating too. And this is not to change the topic to food, but if you are, having issues with anxiety, and this is what I'm telling people, the first thing you got to do, right? You got to face your problems head on. Right? You have to face them head on. You got to deal with them the right way. Deal with your problems the right way. Don't brush stuff off. Don't be brushing shit off in your life, man, because that's the easiest thing to do. It's easy to just brush shit off and just kind of let people get over on you. Brush shit off, let people get over on you. And then eventually you turn into this flaming ball where you flipping out and you going crazy and you just feel like the world is taking advantage of you. Or if you're going through some stuff where somebody hurt you, you got to face that problem head on. I don't care if you got to end up putting somebody in jail, man, because of something they did to you. You got to do what you got to do for you. You got to take care of this, right? So that's the first part of my anxiety, right? And it wasn't about putting nobody in jail, but it was me dealing with my problems head on. The stuff that was causing me to be depressed and making me mad. And then secondly, pay attention to your diet, right? Pay attention to what you eat. Because when I thought back on when I was like really going through my anxiety really, really bad. This was like almost 4 years ago, something like that. And it was right before I stopped eating meat. It was like I had anxiety for back then. I didn't really I wasn't really super stressed out about nothing, like, and it was like right around the time I had started doing this kind of stuff, like filming my comedy videos and stuff like that. So it wasn't like I was kind of like hitting all this stuff head on. I didn't know that I wanted to do a podcast back then. So I was just going through, I had anxiety really bad. I'm like, what is going on with me? But then I thought about it, and I was just sitting up there one day, and I was sitting at the table with my girl, and we was eating, and the kids was sitting there, and I looked at my piece of chicken that I was eating, and it was the same size as my bottle of water. Yes, it was the same size. Your little bottle of water. Where's my bottle of water at? I don't know. But, a little bottle of water, the 24 packs. It was my drumstick was the same size as that, and I was like, time out. Why is my drumstick the same size as my bottle of water? And I'm still, my anxiety flaming, just going. So that day I decided to go cold turkey, and I stopped eating meat, period. I stopped eating meat altogether. And when I tell you, within 2 to 3 days, it's always the same. Within 2 to 3 days after I stopped eating meat, I didn't have a plan, right? I didn't know what I was going to do, because I was just like, this is something new to me. But my anxiety was gone. I'm talking about 100% gone. And then here's the kicker, right? So fast forward now, this is, I want to say about 5 years. I think it's been about 5 years. Fast forward 5 years into the future, and guess what I started doing? I think this was almost 2 weeks ago. I ate chicken again. And when I tell y'all I started eating chicken again, I was eating chicken like it was about 4-5 days straight, just chicken. Going to different places, getting all the different chickens that I could get. I was getting all the chicken sandwiches that everybody was going crazy over that I couldn't get before. And when I tell y'all, when you add all this stuff that I've been going through back, and then you throw the chicken back in there, as soon as I added the chicken back into the equation, my anxiety came back. Like, I'm talking about crazy. I'm talking about it came back just going crazy, and I couldn't figure it out. And I kept thinking to myself, maybe it's because of what I'm going through with this podcast stuff and the stuff that I'm talking about. But then I thought back, I'm like, no, I've been talking about tough stuff on here for a minute, and my anxiety wasn't killing me. But guess what I wasn't doing? I wasn't eating chicken. But as soon as I added chicken back into the equation, my anxiety came back like crazy, right? So I stopped eating chicken, I want to say almost a week and a half ago. Let's just say a week and a half ago. But 2 days after I stopped eating chicken, my anxiety went down real low. By day 3, day 4, gone. And it ain't been back ever since. Like, I can try to make it come back, like by just thinking about some stuff. Nah, it just won't come back. It will not come back. So that's the thing that I've been doing to really, handle that type of stuff, man. You got to really pay attention to what you do to yourself, for real. So anxiety to me is mental stuff that you go through. And also, for real, for me, I'm speaking for myself, is what you eating too. So you got to pay attention to what you're eating, man, because 9 times out of 10, it could probably be playing a major role into what's really going on up here too. Because at the end of the day, when you think about it, right? Think about what you eat. Whatever you eating, so you got meat, right? You got a chicken. That chicken eats something, right? In order for it to grow, in order for it to keep living on. They raise these chickens on plantations, let's say that. And we don't know what really goes on there, right? And this is not me trying to say stop eating this and eating that, but you just got to pay attention to what's triggering what's going on in your life, right? So if you don't know what's eating, what you're eating is eating, you know what I'm saying? You might run into some problems, man. So you might want to start doing some research on it. And I recommend to anybody, if you're going to eat the chicken, you might want to think about going organic, or you might want to think about raising your own chickens, and because you know what you're going to feed your own chickens, right? So yeah, that's what that was, you know what I'm saying? So pay attention to what you're eating, man. Okay, so let's keep this thing rolling. And we're going to get into the main topic for today. So the main topic for today is the main banger: insensitive people. Insensitive people. And this one, I'm not gonna hold y'all for a super duper long time. Like I told you, I'm not gonna hold you for a long time, but I want to definitely talk about this. Insensitive people, man. There's something There's something wrong with people, man. There's something wrong with people. We have so many different issues going on in this world, man. And it just seemed like people don't care about anything, man. They don't care about anything. It just seemed like we live in a world where everyone is so beat down, or everyone is so controlled by a husband, a wife, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, or whatever. They so controlled by whoever that person is, that it turns off a certain part of them and it makes them insensitive, right? So we all go through these things in life, right? Everybody goes through stuff in life. You know what the worst thing that you can tell a person is? One of the worst things that you could tell somebody that's going through something that's traumatic, or it could be something from their childhood that happened to them. The worst thing to me that you could tell a person that's going through some shit, man, you might just let that go, or just get over it. That's the worst thing that you can ever tell a person, man, that's going through some shit, right? So you tell a person, right, that's going through something, right, that you ain't got no experience in, no experience. It never happened to you. It never happened to you. You never had to deal with whatever that person's story is a day in your life. But just to keep the peace between some people, or just to keep a group of people together, you tell that person to just get over it, or y'all need to let that go, or you need to let that go to keep the peace between everybody. What's wrong with y'all people, man? This goes back to what I talked about in the beginning. You got to learn how to deal with your problems, man. You telling somebody that they need to get over something that they're going through in life, get over it. Because that's pretty much what it's summed up to be. Get over it. You telling somebody to do some shit like that in their life, man? What type of person are you? What type of person are you? What type of human are you? Something's wrong with you. If you tell somebody, let me just give you an example, right? A lady that got beat. So this lady, she got beat by her husband with a belt. Got beat like a child, right? Just got beat. And you tell this lady, right? Because you want to keep the family, right? Don't say nothing to nobody about it, and just keep it to yourself, because we're trying to keep this family solid, and we're trying to keep the peace in the house. So basically, you telling this lady to run off, stuff that problem up here, right, and never deal with it. But you still want me to be around the person who did it to me, right? You still want me to be around that person that did it to me. So you telling me, don't say nothing to nobody, just keep it to yourself, right? Or how about this? Because we see a lot of this, right? And don't nobody ever want to deal with it. What about the kid that's being touched by the family member, by the uncle, by the cousin, brother, friend of the family, friend of the mom? What about them, right? I'm tired of it, man. It's over. Y'all telling these people that they need to get over it or let it go? Or you don't address it for the sake of keeping your man or your brother or your cousin happy, or somebody happy in the family? You don't address it? What's wrong with y'all people, man? You need to go to jail with that person. You definitely need to go to jail with that person. Something wrong with y'all people, man. You thinking that anybody that believes that a person should just get over something that they're going through in life, man. What about the fatherless son or the fatherless daughter? You want them to just get over that too? Like nothing bothers them? Like it don't matter to them? Like listen here. I got my own set of problems with my kids. My own set, right? But the one thing that I won't do is I won't give up on them, right? I won't give up on them. But what about the fatherless daughter and the fatherless son who dad gave up on them and never even tried, and they just disappeared on them? Huh? What about them? Are they supposed to just get over that too? Just get over it? They not supposed to want answers? Do y'all not understand why this world is the way it is? It's because don't nobody really want to deal with their damn problems, man. Nobody want to deal with their problems. They think they got it all figured out. And look, I'ma just like let some time go by and everything gonna be cool when we piece it up down the line. Nah, it don't work like that. You see what I'm saying? And this is just to go back to my family stuff. Like I was telling y'all before, back when I filmed the first episode or second, maybe the second. Just because you let time pass, it doesn't mean that the wounds are healed. It doesn't mean that. So for you insensitive people out there that keep telling people to get over stuff like that, man, what's wrong with you, man? What is wrong with you? You can't tell somebody that, man. You cannot tell somebody that. And to go back to the girl or the little boy that got touched by somebody in the family, you keep telling them to get over that. Or even if the parent or whoever let it happen and put them in that situation, never addressed it. Flip side, that male or female turned to the other side and they decided they don't like men no more. They don't like women no more. And they go to the other side where it's okay to be there. If you want to be there, be there. Walk, do what you do. You know what I'm saying? But then you get those parents that'll come in and say, oh, I don't support what you do. But you made me who I am. Right? So then you run into a situation like that where the person gets touched by somebody and it changes their whole look on life. And then they go in the opposite direction and do something totally different. Right? But then, they tell you about this. You do nothing about it. You basically telling them, oh, you don't believe them, or you telling them, look, it happened that one time. You just need to get over it. But then on the flip side, you don't want to accept the lifestyle that they chose to live now after that happened to them, that traumatic experience happened to them, and you didn't get them no help, didn't talk to them about it, didn't do anything about it. But now you don't accept them on the other side of their life, right? Because they're doing something different. Listen, this ain't me just talking out the side of my neck. This is me talking from personal experience. And no, this ain't me saying that I went over to the other side. But no, when I was younger, somebody tried to molest me. And I'm not going to sit up here and say, no, man, my parents failed me. No, they didn't fail me. See, when I was younger, it was at a babysitter house, right? And, when you're young, it wasn't like fear. It wasn't fear that kept me from saying anything. It was that I didn't know what was going on. But I knew enough to say, Mom, man, you better get away from me. I knew that enough to say, hey, nah, get away from me. And I ran up out of there. Like, I knew that enough. But that's still right here. And that was pre me going to kindergarten. So I know it's a reason why I remember that. And I'm still looking for dude. I'm looking for you, dude. I'm looking for you, bruh. I'm looking for you. But yeah. He tried when I was younger, but I was smart enough to know, like, no, get away from me, bruh. Get away from me. But this is the type of stuff that happens in life, right? And, now people will sit up and they think it's, you can laugh about it or whatever because it didn't get the best of me, right? It didn't get me and it didn't destroy me, right? It didn't send me on a destructive path. It didn't. And it was only because, for real, I knew, no, that ain't right, bro. Get away from me. I knew that early on. I didn't just let it happen to me. I fought myself about that situation when I was little. I knew. You know what I'm saying? But what about the people that can't fight their way up out of it, right? And it happens to them and it goes all the way through. The whole process goes through. They destroy that little kid. Just get over it. Man, y'all clowns, man. Y'all clowns. To think that somebody's supposed to get over some traumatic stuff that happened to them in their life, man. You can't do that, man. This is why some people's brains are broken right now. I'm talking about you have some people who you may call bipolar now. They may be nuts. They may be in a crazy house right now because their brain is broken from all the things that happened to them in life. You break this thing, you break this, man, come on, y'all. Y'all know what happens next when you see somebody with a broken brain. Go to YouTube. Watch the videos, man. Do some research. All the information is out there now. You can see it all, man. You can see everything that happens to people now, just based on stuff that they went through in life, and listen to their stories, man. Don't be insensitive. Listen to their stories, man. People be going through stuff every single day. And for somebody to sit up there and tell them that they need to let it go or get over it, and you have no experience in that world of what they went through, you need to get your head knocked off your shoulders, man. You need to get your damn head smacked off your shoulders, man. Just because you don't understand, man. You ain't even trying to understand what the person going through. Trust me, I needed my head smacked off my shoulders a few times in my life because I'm just like, man, look, man, I don't care nothing about what you talking about. Man, look, I was the you need to get over it person before. I was that person. Not understanding, right? And this is just me going through the wild days where I ain't care about nothing. I don't care about nothing because I was angry myself, right? So I ain't want to care about nobody else's problems because I had my own. But nah, those days are way behind me. But we living in this time, man, in this world where if you run into people in your life like that tell you that you need to get over something in your life, no, I'm not. You need to, it's time to get rid of those people. It's time to get rid of them. It's really time to get rid of them. Like, and I'm not even going to say that you got to get rid of them to the point where, no, let me stop. Let me rewind that back because I don't want you to handle the problem the wrong way. I don't. So if you get people in your life that are insensitive and they tell you that you need to just get over something or let something go, at that moment, that's when it's time for you to spring on them, not go crazy on them, but spring on them and let them know exactly how you feel. Because in that moment, if you do decide to say, I'm going to just cut you off, I ain't never going to deal with you no more in life, it's only going to make your problems worse. It's only going to make them worse, right? So in that moment of whatever you're going through, you always got to let the people around you that tell you to get over something, let them know exactly how you feel. So if you are a victim of molestation or you are a victim of the big R word, if you are a victim of a fatherless, if you're a fatherless son, a fatherless daughter, or let's just say a motherless son or a motherless daughter, because there are people out there, I know right now for a fact, I know somebody specifically that's a father, a single father taking care of his kids. And the baby mama ain't nowhere to be found. Come in and out. So I know them too. But if you are one of those kids, man, let people know exactly how you feel. Don't let nobody shut you down on how you feel. Don't let nobody control what's going on up here. You got the power up here, right? If you're a victim of mental or physical abuse by a loved one, let people know how you feel. Don't let nobody shut you down. Don't let nobody tell you that you can't feel what you're feeling. Don't ever let nobody tell you that. Insensitive people, y'all need to pay attention, man. Listen to what I'm saying to y'all, man. It's so easy for y'all to write somebody's problems off because it ain't yours. Or you want something for the bigger picture, so you write people off. See, that's what people be doing. They do something that they think is for the greater good, but really, so we gonna write off one person because it's gonna make this big thing keep popping the way that it's popping? Nah, it don't work like that. Why do y'all think people go crazy and do just crazy stuff? Like, the way that I want to say it, I'm not gonna say it that way, but you know what I'm saying. Why do y'all think people do that? People go nuts. And they just do random things out here in this world. And you be like, oh my God, I can't believe that person did that. It's because that person probably was going through something and people kept writing them off. Insensitive people kept writing them off instead of saying, hey, let's really dig into that. Let's dig into the problem of what you're going through and let's handle that, right? You can't keep writing people off, man, in this world. We got to start helping people that's suffering from depression. We got to start helping people that's suffering from child abuse, molestation. We got to start helping people that are going through things, man. And this is not to say that I'm perfect. I'm not perfect. Y'all heard what I said about myself. I'm still working. I'm working, putting in work on myself every day, putting in work on myself. But I ain't trying to do this by myself. Come on. come on to the podcast, man. Sit down with me. We can work on this and we can talk about this together. You know what I'm saying? It ain't always got to be about messy stuff. It don't have to always be about messy stuff. So, you know, we got to get to a point where we start hitting this stuff head on. We work on ourselves. We work on all these issues that we have, and we talk to each other about it, right? And just to dip off to the side a little bit on, you know, the direction that I've been taking on my life. That's why I took down, if you notice, go look at my podcast. I dropped a lot of those videos where it was me focusing that energy, that anger, right? That anger that I still had towards the situation, the multiple situations of my life that I was currently carrying with me, not healing from them, right? It was a few of them. I took them down because now those problems that I had, I stopped giving them energy, right? The ones that I really want fixed, I went after those and I fixed those. But the ones that I don't care whether they go left or right, it ain't even about me sweeping them up under the rug. It's about me not giving those situations any more of my energy, right? Because I need to focus all my energy on myself and on my family. So that's why a few of those episodes, I took them down because it's like, you don't get no more energy from me. It's all about putting the action in, right? And just doing what I know I need to do. So you don't get the family drama. You don't get the baby mama stuff, man. That stuff is dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get that no more. That stuff don't come up out of here no more. But bouncing back to the topic with the insensitive people, look, if you are one of those people and you're listening to this episode right now, I need you to start working on yourself, man. I need you to really start working on yourself. You gotta be able to see outside of yourself in order to understand what other people are going through in life, the problems that people have. You got to be able to start looking outside of yourself, man. And I think that's the issue that a lot of people don't have. They can't look outside of their selfish ways. I can't look outside of my own family or what I want for everyone, versus saying, let me separate everybody and let's address everything individually just to see where everybody's sitting. And if out of all those 10 people that you're looking at, or 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100, whatever, all those people that you're looking at, if one person got an issue, that's going to destroy the rest of those 79 people coming together. We got to help that person. We got to put the work in. We got to help that person get past whatever it is, deal with it. It don't even matter if that person don't ever want to deal with that person in that group again because of what they did to them. But you got to allow that person to get closure and heal without telling that person that they need to get over it and move on. Why do you think we have so many problems now with our kids? Why do you think our kids grow up to be the way that they are, right? So let's just say, for instance, right, let me give you an example of that person who has a problem. Myself. If you don't allow me to heal and properly close this door with you, now I'm just going to carry that on to my kids, which I've done, which it'll be fixed, you know, but that's what a lot of these people do. They carry it on to other people. So it's like a virus. It's like a virus. You insensitive people, you are a virus. If you do not allow people to go through and properly heal from the stuff that's been hurting them in life, it's just going to keep spreading throughout the generations, man. Yeah. Like if you go back, if you got a messed up family right now, right? If you just know, come on, let's just keep it real. Everybody don't have no perfect family, man. But if you know you got a messed up family right now, you go back and you start looking back and you start asking questions, you'll start seeing how everything came to be. Ask questions. Just go back and start digging through, because that's where let me help you out, you know, the people that's going through stuff. Not to say that I'm overlooking what you're going through. But if you go back and start digging through your family history, right, that's the one thing that you need to do. If you have parents, grandparents, cousins, aunties and stuff like that, or older people in your family right now, go back and ask people questions if your parents are not around. Or if your parents don't want to answer the questions, go back and ask people that know them. Ask them about the history of your family. And then you'll start to understand more. And it'll make you start looking at stuff like, now I see why y'all let this happen. You know, you'll start to understand more. And it'll start to open up that door for you so that you can understand, like, Not saying whatever happened to you is cool now because you understand. Nah, it's just, it'll help you. I promise you. It'll help you understand why the people that raised you the way that they raised you. And that's something personal that I did. I went back and I started asking questions. And I talked to a few people in my family that I knew were older and they were around during those times. And a lot of that stuff did help. It added to, first it made me mad. Don't get me wrong. It made me mad because I'm like, man, why was somebody raised, like, come up, like, allowing kids to do this and allowing kids to do that? But then I thought about it. I said, the people that I need to ask those questions, they not here no more. But I know it makes sense. They probably was just repeating the same cycle of stuff that they saw growing up. So it's like, at some point, we got to get to a point where we break the cycle. We break the cycle and we show our kids something different, right? We show our kids how to deal with their problems. We show our kids how to heal. We teach them how to properly have a conversation with us, right? You know, because that's the problem with a lot of kids, you know, especially me when I was growing up, you know, feeling like you can't have a conversation with an adult. That was the worst feeling ever. So now, fast forward, you older and look at what you're dealing with. You're left with a kid that had to travel this world and walk around this world and kind of figure things out on the fly as they happened and destroy certain people during the process, right? You know, not knowing how to properly deal with stuff, right? So, again, insensitive people, man, ease up and pump the brakes, man. Because you don't understand what a lot of people are going through, and you need to start trying to understand. But that's going to be a wrap for this episode of Let's Talk Podcast, man. Please smash that like button. Please subscribe to my channel. Again, man, I appreciate all you people that have been there, you know, patiently waiting and, you know, just supporting the channel. You know, turn on that bell notification so that when I do drop a new video, you will be notified. And I appreciate you all, man. Like I said, I'm going to have some people coming on pretty soon. I'm just trying to, you know, work through this whole process of getting comfortable with, you know, having people back around. But one of my I believe I'm going to try to get them on to the next time, on the next episode. We're going to see. But it's a childhood friend of mine that I've known for, man, since I can't remember. I was a little kid. I'm talking about maybe 4th grade or something like that, 5th grade, maybe 3rd grade. But that's how long we was rocking with each other since back in the days. And we lost touch after we moved out of Cleveland and we moved to the suburbs, you know, and we lost touch, man. So we're going to get on here and we're going to break bread, you know. We're going to try on the next episode. And the next episode is going to be a good one, man. It's going to definitely be a good one. So again, smash that like button. Please subscribe to my channel. Please turn on that bell notification. All my social media stuff is going to be down below. But let me go ahead and drop it real quick if I have enough time here to tell you about the my TikTok page for Let's Talk Podcast. So the Let's Talk Podcast TikTok page is Let's Talk Podcast 2, the number 2 on TikTok. So jump on there. You know what I'm saying? Follow me on TikTok. And on Instagram, you can follow Let's Talk Podcast. Let me see. On Instagram, it's Let's Talk. Come on now. Let's Talk Podcast 2021 on Instagram. And yeah, that's about it, man. Oh yeah, I do have a Facebook too. I'm tripping, man. I have a Facebook page, but I got to keep on working on that one. So the Facebook page is Let's Talk Podcast with Dustin Calloway and Friends on Facebook. So hop on there, you know what I'm saying? Follow me on all my social media platforms, man. We're going to keep this thing rocking. But until the next time, my people, I'm going to catch y'all on the flip side. Peace.